Alrighty, guys, 4 minutes past the hour. We're going to get started. Welcome to another entrepreneurship webinar. How to generate 10,000 in new landscape sales in the next 30 days without spending a fortune on advertising. Give me an X if that fires you up in the chat box. Let me know if you're fired up and ready to learn some cool stuff about starting and growing your lawn and landscape business. Looks like a bunch of X's are rolling in. People are pumped up. Very, very, very cool. Very cool. Alrighty, so right away, what we're going to do is really just ask, what is everyone's business status? Are you a beginner? Are you a veteran? Just getting going, been in the industry for a few years? Let me know in the chat box, and that way we can kind of make sure we're catering to the right audience, because a lot of times it's either sometimes a beginner that's doing or a lot of beginners in a room, or sometimes a lot of veterans that have been in business for a few years in the room. Let me know in the chat box what your status is with your business. If you're just getting going, or if you've been starting or been operating for a few years, let me know. Looks like some beginners, veterans. Jason's been in business for about 5 years. Kyle's just getting started. Okay, cool. So we got about a mixed bag here. Very, very cool. Alrighty, so here is the big promise, and if this is for you guys that stay through the end and you participate in the chat, as well as be active within the workshop here. So basically, you're going to learn how to generate $10,000 in new landscape jobs over the next 30 days. And at the end of this workshop, you're going to learn exactly how to do that. And if so, this workshop will have been a success. And also, if you stay to the end, you will get a copy of the project winning proposal with a cover letter that has generated over 7 figures in lawn, landscape, and snow sales. So if you guys want that, give me an X in the chat box if that sounds cool. This only is going to happen, though, if you stay through the end. We have metrics that we are able to see who exactly stayed to the end, and then they're sent out within a day or two. So looks like everyone's saying yes. Tyler says yes. Demetrius says yes. Alrighty, cool. So what makes this different for sure is, first things first, you just got to close everything else down. If you're not paying attention, nothing that we're going to show you here in this workshop will help you at all. Turn off Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, email, TV, phone, your friends, whatever. In order to get as much value as possible from this training, you have to be paying attention. So be paying attention. So a little bit about me. My name is Matt Wacek. Some of you may know me, some of you may not, but I kind of keep this on the down low, but I've generated over 7 figures in lawn, landscape, and snow sales, and basically going to be showing you how you can get started doing the same thing and be well on your way to doing that. So I got my start in the industry back in 2007, and really just fell in love with doing the work, and more so the idea of becoming my own boss. The owner at the company I'd worked for worked out in the field with us. Really just fun atmosphere. And I thought, okay, this would be really, really cool to be running the show. This guy's making all kinds of money. This is awesome. So basically, after graduating high school, a couple years later, I went to college to pursue accounting and finance, with just the ever-present goal on my mind to really just know the number side of things when it came to running a business, because I knew in order to make a lot of money with business, you really got to know what you're doing when it comes to numbers and profit and all those sorts of things. So that was my main focus. And I figured, okay, I'll just go to college and then I'll start the business after. Fast forward a little bit to traditional college, and it was not for me in the least bit. So after the first couple of years in college, I transferred to, I'm studying like all the generals and all the crap they make you do, which I did not like at all. Transferred to a local tech school and studied horticulture and landscaping, and then immediately had started my business with nothing but my laptop. And I was working as an aircraft fueler. And while that job might sound like you actually get a decent amount of money, I got about $10 an hour. And it was not the greatest job, to say the least. This was in early 2011 out there on the airport field, if you will, and basically in the wind and up high in the air, cold winter nights, and it sucked. So over the next 5 years, though, I grew MJW Landscape Contracting to multiple 6 figures, with months routinely generating $25,000 to $30,000 in revenue. Big thanks to learning how to market my business online. So here are some of the jobs that we did. Just a couple pictures here. I have probably thousands of pictures scattered throughout my computer hard drives and stuff. But we did a lot of hardscapes, a lot of like homeowner association work when it came to doing the landscaping and landscape maintenance. The pergola here that you see on the left is for a company that, the long story short with this one, the previous contractor got arrested on the job site like 2 weeks later. They contacted us and we ended up getting the job, and they had already paid a contractor to do the concrete work here for what eventually became an outdoor kitchen. And then another company also did the pergola work. So that's the reason that that's not complete, but we did the paver work and the walls and all that sort of cool stuff. So another hardscape project here leading to a circular patio with a freestanding wall. Really cool project. Then over here doing a little bit of turf renovation and grading, getting things ready for sod a couple weeks later after that. So then over here to doing maintenance, did a lot of mowing as well as aerating and pretty much everything in regards to maintenance. We did it. Got to be a one-stop shop for our clients. And then moving on into the snow side of things, did a lot of residential and commercial, as well as a little bit of snow stacking as well. As you can see here, probably one of my favorite services to do would be the stacking piles, just because it's a nice little upsell and you can make a good chunk of money with your existing clients just from having extra snow on site. So with being really good at marketing my business, and that's how we got a lot of these clients, this led to me taking on digital marketing clients in early 2015, which also was the start of me creating this whole community called Entrepreneurship. At that point in time, it was called the Rookie's Guide, which was a really just crappy name. I'm not the biggest fan of it now thinking back, but I got to the point in late 2015 where I was just extremely stretched with my time. I knew I could only help as many people as I could. So I decided to sell my landscape business to pursue my digital marketing firm and then create Entrepreneurship into the massive global community that it is of lawn and landscape and snow business owners. So I did a lot of things right, but I also did a lot of things wrong, to say the least. So after doing this for 5 years, I figured out 3 really key things, and that was, for many lawn and landscape business owners, their biggest strength is not marketing, definitely, to say the least, about that subject. A lot of owners also, though, start out with buying a ton of equipment before any sales come in, and then they're stuck with either no cash flow or a boatload of debt and stress to get those bills paid, and that's extremely risky. And the other thing is that you can advertise your business effectively without breaking the bank or having to spend days upon days just walking and distributing door hangers, and you can still generate a solid return on your investment without having to go out there and do that. So I had really discovered this the hard way. You watching this workshop will get to cheat and see the easy way to go about this. So the hard way of doing this was basically, I knew nothing about marketing when I got started with my lawn, landscape, and snow business. I knew what ads were, but school hardly taught me anything about creating an effective ad that will actually generate business and get customers to come into your business. And this is after spending tens of thousands of dollars on college. And also followed the path of many colleagues and some of the quote unquote friends I had back at that point in time, who at that point were also not business owners, but I was a young, like 19, 20-year-old kid. Listen to the people around you, but I basically was being told, hey, go buy a mower and all the needed accessories. So trimmer and blower and trailer and truck and all that sort of stuff. And then you get customers afterwards, which is also super bad advice. I had spent an absolute just fortune on pretty much every single form of advertising that you can imagine. Door hangers, every door, direct mail, postcards, Craigslist. I built a website and had ranked it on Google. That was one of the things that had helped us out tremendously, but also flyers and business cards, t-shirts and yellow pages, and having Yelp offer to, or they built like a website for us, and the list just goes on. And talk about super, super expensive testing. So would you guys want the easy way that does not require you to ever waste time or money? Give me an X in the chat box if that sounds like something you guys would want to learn. Looks like Tyler says definitely. Jason, Zach, everyone's saying yes, yes, yes. Hell yeah. Alrighty. Cool, cool, cool. All right. First things first is the results are not typical. Just got to have a little disclaimer like this. I will be walking through some specific promotions and systems that are earning a good amount of traffic, which is visitors and leads and sales numbers right now. My results, though, are certainly not typical, and the average person who attends any training gets zero results. However, and that's usually because they fail to take action. So many people go in and learn a whole bunch of stuff without doing anything, and I just don't understand why. But I'm happy to show you exactly what's working, 100% free. You're right here on the training, and you're able to learn this stuff for free right here, right now, tonight. So this is also, though, not for get-rich-quick people or work-from-home biz-op people or someone who's just not willing to put in any form of effort, because there really is no such thing as a push-button little bit of success. So basically, what you want to do, though, is picture this. You have a booming business, new customers are calling in every single day, the email inbox is filling up, and work is just coming in like crazy. Can you imagine that? And in a month from now, what will your life be like when your business is raking it in? What will your life be? Pretty exciting, will it not be? Looks like everyone agrees that that would be pretty exciting. Very, very cool. So my goal for this workshop, though, if you're just starting out, because I know we have a mixed bag here, is you're just starting out, to get your first clients within the next month, if not even less time than that. And then for veterans, take some of these methods here that we're going to cover and scale your business to the moon and make even more money than you could possibly ever imagine. So the three things that we're going to cover is, the first thing is how to get to your first landscape clients within hours of doing this training. And many will even land one before this training is over, as long as you're someone that takes action. So secret number 2 is how you can do these landscape installation projects even if you have absolutely no equipment right now. Basically, you don't need to have trucks and skid loaders and all that sorts of stuff, because with the methods I'm going to show you here in a little bit, you'll learn how to do this without having to have anything prior to getting started. So the last secret is 3 unique advertising methods that are 100% free and have generated tens of thousands of dollars in sales. So give me an X if you guys are ready to start learning all of these secrets and get into it. Tyler says X. Alex says X. Jason, Zach, Andy. Cool. Alrighty. So first things first is, this is something that's just said so much in the industry, is most say that it takes a long time to get clients when you are just starting out. And frankly, that is just not true. The old model is to basically go out and pound pavement for days on end, knock on doors if you don't have door hangers or flyers and you can't afford to get them printed. And basically, I created a method which is called the Curious Student Method, which is a huge help for beginners that are just getting started. You don't have a track record of any jobs, no portfolio. You basically have nothing going, but just maybe you got the business registered and then you have like a logo. So what you'll want to do is go to your social media and basically announce that you're starting your business and say, hey, I'm proud to announce I've officially started my own landscaping business. And then obviously you're not going to write MJW Landscape Contracting, but you'll put your company's name, and we'll be specializing in insert services. So if you're going to be doing hardscapes, if you're going to be doing just small landscape installs or whatever it is that you want to do, next thing you want to say is something along the lines of, hey, my work quality is top of the line, looking to get some jobs under my belt. So if anyone is in need of a landscaping project, I'm your guy. And another method to also get people to really be enticed to either share this post or interact with the post is to say, hey, we'll give you a discount on the project, maybe like 10% or something, in exchange for a review on your business Facebook page or your Google Maps listing, because the more reviews you have, the more social proof that your business has, and people will want to do business with you in the future. So it makes things a lot easier when you can say, hey, look at all these reviews of these people who said we did excellent work for them. They're extremely happy with their project. The cool thing about this is that using your social media reach costs absolutely nothing. You just need to have your phone connected to the internet, and you don't even necessarily have to have internet. You can go over to the coffee shop and get the internet for free. So the other cool thing is that a lot of people will resonate with this post and think, hey, wow, this guy's a go-getter. I'm going to share this for all of my friends to see and hopefully help this guy get out there and get working, get some clients coming in. So the next thing that you'll want to do is either make some sort of post with either the logo, and this is what I did the day I registered my business and the day I had my logo made, way back in 2011. And it doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but it somehow was over 6 years ago, which is absolutely crazy to think. But I basically just made a post saying, hey, just get ready to know this logo. Thanks to the guy who had designed it, because now, or back then, I actually had to pay a design company to do it because Fiverr really wasn't around. But decent amount of likes, pretty low on that end, but share, and then a whole bunch of comments beneath it. And then also what you'll want to do is add your work information to your Facebook page as well as your Instagram page, and saying, hey, I'm the owner of this company. And I was a little late to the punch on this with the my marketing company, but basically just had a little tagline, what the company's about, what we do, how we help our customers, and then the services that we offer. And you'd want to do the exact same thing. So say MJW Landscape Contracting is the premier landscape contractor in the Northwest Metro, 100% focused on making sure every single client is thrilled with their project or the services that we do for them, and then include all the services below. So you're probably thinking, would this work for me? And absolutely, it can work for anyone who has any social media, because the cost to post this is basically nothing. As long as you have a phone or internet access, you can do this. And the potential ROI is absolutely exponential. Some friends of mine here who own a landscape and irrigation company did this back in 2014 when they're working with a super tight budget at that point in time when it came to marketing. And they basically just made a post and said, hey, it's blowout season. Give us a call at, here's our phone number. Super, super simple post to make. And the other thing that you want to do is basically do this with all of your business page, Facebook pages as well. Whenever you make a post on there, share it on your personal page, so that way it gets more exposure, because Facebook is a platform. They want you to spend money on ads. So they really throttle the amount of reach that a business's page or business's post can reach. So when you share it to a social, or not social, but a personal page, it's going to be seen by a lot more people that are all scrolling through their feeds, and they can see it. So it's able to reach a lot more people without having to spend money on the advertising to get it boosted, or doing any form of advertising with Facebook ads. All right, so next thing is secret number 2. And give me an X if you guys are ready to just have your minds just totally twisted by this concept, because so many contractors and people within the industry, or even people that don't even own businesses, will think that you need to go out there and get all kinds of equipment before you have any customers coming in. And it looks like everyone's saying yes, ready to get into it. I'm going to take a drink of water really quick here. And basically, most will say that you can't do any projects unless you have equipment first. That is totally 100% false. The old model is to go out there, buy a mower, trimmer, blower, and trailer, and a truck when you have no paying customers yet. And that's a really, really bad idea. The reason being is that equipment makes no money while it's sitting there with no customers paying for it to be working. If you have no customers that are paying your business to do work, that is basically just a bunch of metal sitting in your garage or in your shop or wherever, not making any money. And that is not a position that you want to be in. So instead of spending money on equipment, invest that money into advertising for small landscape installation projects. And you're probably wondering, well, why would you want to do this? Because landscape installs will require a down payment from your clients before the job even gets started. So what you'll want to do is take the money from that initial deposit, and then you go out there and you buy your needed equipment and materials. And so basically what you're doing is, instead of putting your neck on the line and risking your money, you essentially get paid to invest in your first pieces of equipment, which is a safe and smart plan, versus going out there and spending $4,000 or $5,000 on a mower and trimmer and trailer and all that sort of stuff when you have hardly any clients coming in. If you aim for just small landscape installation projects, you can make a couple $1,000 first, and then you take the money and the profit from that to invest into the tools and equipment that you need. When you're just getting started mowing, you're trying to go out there and make $30 each time, and it takes a lot of customers in order to get to a point where you can actually start having the initial return on that investment pay off. So you're probably thinking, though, what types of jobs can you do that really won't require a ton of equipment right away. And so basically what this would be is small, super basic landscape installation. So rock, mulch, edging, and plantings. They are insanely profitable, and they're simply simple to do. If you don't have a truck that can pull a dump trailer or haul any material, or it's a super small truck or something along the lines of that, the cool thing with this is that all this material can be delivered by your supplier. So it'll cost a little bit of money, but that's just something that you forecast in the budget of the job. This is what we did for every single project. That way we had just very little risk when purchasing thousands of dollars in material and then additional equipment that may have been needed. So for example, like this job right here was about a $6,000 job, and we had no equipment that was needed other than rakes and shovels and wheelbarrows, and then utility knives to cut the sod. That was it. $6,000, and after materials, and there was a whole bunch of things that had come up with this job because it was subcontracted to us, and the measurements were off, and some things had kind of gotten goofed up. But we still profited about $2,500 off this job in one day, and literally required nothing but a truck, one of our small trailers, and wheelbarrows, and just super small basic tools under about $500 worth of tools. And then also these other jobs here that you can do. Basically, this person's retaining wall was kind of falling apart, so we just ripped it apart, rebuilt it, and leveled it all out, glued each one of the blocks, and then filled in with a little bit more rock. And this was about an $800 job. Took us about 3 hours for 3 of us to do the work, and super, super simple, super profitable, because it just took shovels and a glue gun and a dead blow hammer, and that's about it, and a little bit of gravel. And so then this job also right here, which we were definitely not a tree service. We didn't ever take down big trees. We basically subbed that out to do the tree removal and the stump grinding, removed all of that whole big clump there, and turned it into a very nice looking landscape bed with some small perennials in it. So this is definitely possible, guys. Absolutely 100% possible. It really just helps with growing your business with as little risk as possible, because you do not want to have a bunch of stress when it comes to your money. Because what this does is that it ends the ever troubling trend of, usually a lot of people will say, oh, hey, I just put, say, $15,000 of material on my account at my supplier, and now I'm stuck with no cash after I just had to pay or make payroll, and now my clients are waiting to pay me. It's a really bad spot that you don't ever want to be in. And doing this with getting a deposit up front and then getting the remainder at the completion, you're able to get the money that you need, and you're able to get the material and all the equipment needed before the job really even starts. So now that I've really shown you how to get paid before doing the work, allowing you to get these jobs before you even purchase a single shovel, how sweet is that? Give me a 2 in the chat box if you think that's pretty nifty. Looks like everyone's saying yes here. Andy, Zach, Alex. Cool. All right, so now to number 3. Most are going to say that it costs a lot of money to advertise, and this is just dead on false. Absolutely false. The old model of advertising was to go out there, buy flyers, door hangers, postcards, newspaper ads, yellow page listings, and then get ready to work hard by pounding the pavement for the next 2 months straight while you hope to get a customer. And this is a horrible idea. Think about the amount of time it takes to distribute just 2,000 door hangers. If it takes an average of 30 seconds to reach each house, that's nearly 17 hours of work and one very tired business owner. For 2,000 door hangers at about a 1% return, that's about 20 leads for all that effort. And it would probably take you about 2 long days of walking, maybe even 3, to get that all distributed. So You can do that, or you can use free 3 methods of using online marketing to reach 5 times as many people with about 10% of the time required. Give me an X in the chat box if you guys want to learn these 3 methods that will save you just tons and tons and tons of time. And that's one of the biggest things. Time's your biggest asset as a business owner. It's not necessarily money, but time, to say the least. Looks like a whole bunch of X's. Tyler says yes. Diego says yes. Alex, Andy, Jason, very cool. Yes, it's time is of the essence all the time. Pardon my pun of saying time there twice. But first method is going onto Facebook and using the community groups. And this might sound like it's kind of crazy out there idea, but basically what you'll be doing is use the same posts that you did on your social media page, but within these community groups. The cool thing about this is obviously you don't want to be like super salesy or anything like that, but they are filled with thousands upon thousands of homeowners that need work done. Most of these groups within like a suburb that has a decent amount of people in it have maybe 5,000 to 10,000 members in the group. And you can also find like the garage sale groups within a certain city's area. And if they allow posting of businesses in there, that is just an absolute gold mine right there, because even if 1% of that 5,000 people are interested in a job, you can certainly squeeze out a few grand in sales from that. And basically what you'll want to do is say, hey, insert city name or insert community or neighborhood, proud to announce that I've officially started my own local landscaping business. And then you enter in your company name and say, hey, we will be specializing in whichever services that you want to get started with going. And if you're using the method from the previous secret with getting started with no equipment, basically just say, hey, we do rock mulch, planting, edging, and we're just doing super basic stuff for right now, and basically explaining that, hey, our work quality is top of the line and we're looking to get jobs under our belt. So if anyone is in need of a landscaping project or a small landscaping project, I'm your guy. And then definitely make sure to add in a discount. Say, hey, we're throwing in a 10% discount if you give us a review on our Facebook business page after the project's all said and done, or your Google Maps page, whichever it is you want to do. But the big thing is that you don't want to sound too just spammy and salesy, but definitely put yourself out there and don't be afraid of what someone may say, because there can be some definitely bitter people on Facebook. But you'll really just want to go out there and just say, hey, be proud of what you're doing and go out there. And I know that sounds kind of hypey and Tony Robbins-ish, but it works. And that's one of the things that people really respect, someone that's going out there and trying to do something other than just getting a job. So that really gets people happy, or makes them happy, and kind of amps them up. So method number 2, and this is probably one of the most powerful methods out there, and that is networking forums. So you can go to basically any like website that has like an industry forum. So, or you can go to like Facebook groups that have this, the entrepreneurship community. We have our Facebook group, and you can go in, and a lot of times it'll be discussion about working or jobs, or for example, like in this group here that I was a member of, still technically am, I guess, but I don't really frequent it that much because I'm not actively in the snow business anymore. But basically in this group here, we had a Minnesota only snow removal business owners group, which turned into basically a year-round just chat room, essentially, where people were discussing doing jobs and posting weather reports. So if it was raining in a specific city, or if there was a snow report during a snow event, people would post, hey, 3 inches just fell in St. Paul, or 5 inches just fell in Minneapolis, or whatever the case may be. And then the cool thing about it is that people also started posting apps, and I obviously had kind of blurred out the names just because for privacy reasons for the people on here, and obviously these are addresses here, but people posting, hey, anyone do irrigation in Savage, which is a suburb of Minneapolis. Another one here is anybody mow around this address in St. Paul, or this one here in Richfield. I have information on it. If you want them, please just email me at info at my company's site. And here is another one. This was actually a post I had made. If you want to go in and dig back into the Plow Site archives, you certainly could. But this was a project that I had went and looked at back in June of 2014. So a few years ago, but this is still relevant today because you can find jobs by doing this. And this is exactly how I obtained a absolute crap ton of work. And a lot of other people did the same as well. So basically just posted on there, hey, a question for those that have a brush hog. So a piece of equipment that I didn't have, but was at that point in time, I needed someone to do some work with about 5,500 square feet of backyard in Crystal, another suburb city. Weeds are 6 feet tall. Not sure how the prospect let their lawn get that bad, but just shoot me a PM, private message for your price and availability. Another guy posted on here, replied to my post saying, hey, don't have one on my skid loader, but I got one on one of my tractors, $250. You can do it next Tuesday, 10 days from now. And we ended up doing something a little bit different on this project. We just went in with a skid loader and basically just like bombed our way through to try to remove everything. And that worked out pretty good because it was a lot less of a mess with mowing and cutting the stuff all down. But another good thing that we that had come about out of this group, and really this was 100% free to be in this group. This cost nothing because it was on Plow Site, which was a free site to be on. Facebook groups are totally free to be a part of as well. And what it was is basically during a snow event, someone had posted, a guy named Jeff posted into the group at about 1 o'clock in the morning. I had just wrapped up the last account of the night that I had sent my guys back home. And this guy posted saying, hey, can anyone plow a lot in New Brighton, which is another suburb? Been through it all once, but got about 3 inches on the last little band that came through. Not sure I'll be able to get there by 6 a.m. So please call me at phone number. And there's his name. Thanks. And I believe I gave him a phone call, like, cause I had happened to check it right at the end of I got done plowing and I was about to head home, and I decided to drive about 15 minutes and do that job. And the cool thing about that was that job ended up generating about, about $350 over the course of the next couple weeks by doing that account. Actually, it was about $500 or $600 on that one. But the other cool thing was that it led to us being subbed an absolute just ton of work the following winter, and literally tens of thousands of dollars in residential snow removal sales just from being a member of this group. And obviously took a little bit of time to be posting in these groups, because the big thing that you want to do when you are a part of these groups is to, and even if you get busy, just be active in the community. You got to be a regular contributor to the group, which is a huge, huge, huge key, because each time that I would post in there, whenever I had work that I needed to subcontract to somebody, or was looking to subcontract out work to somebody else, or maybe it was in another part of town that we didn't work in, or whatever the case may be, there'd be tons of messages coming in and people saying, hey, we can do this work. And I'd never even seen them before. Like, their username was not an active contributor to like the thread or anything. And a lot of times these groups are really close knit for the most part. And if you're not well known and you're sending out only requests and messages only when work has come about here on the group, it's not likely that you'll get it. So the big thing is you just got to be active and post and check the posts every couple days or so, depending on how fast the group moves and how many posts are being made. But the cool thing about it was that it just went year round. It started off being just about snow, and then it moved on into sod work and doing landscape installation and all that sort of stuff. So this particular job right here, if you remember the slide earlier with the sod that we did, which is about a $6,000 job, and we profited about $2,500 on it, came from this post right here from a buddy of mine who was asking about someone wanting to do a small sod job in Wayzata, which is another suburb of Minneapolis. This was just a small grading job, need about 70 yards. But then he mentions also a bigger one in Minnetonka, another city near Highway 494 and 7, about 1,125 square yards. The job ended up being about, almost 1,700 because when we went and measured it, we had 2-foot tall weeds, and it was hard to tell where the property lines were at that very point in time. But it'll be graded, may need a little bit of light hand rating, pays $4,000. Send me a message if interested. So you better believe I sent a message to him within about 10 minutes of seeing that, and we ended up getting the job. Didn't have to compete with anybody on the bid or anything. We went out there, measured it, started it a couple weeks later, and it ended up being about $6,000 in sales. And the really cool thing about that project was it ended up being super profitable, and it required no equipment except just the very basics. So basically just the wheelbarrows, rakes, shovels, and utility knives to cut the sod. And then obviously had labor and stuff to get the guys doing all the work. But we paid nothing to acquire the client. And since it was from the networking group, whom of which we were also doing some commercial mowing already for my buddy who had an account that was closer to us that was too far for his crews to be going and servicing. So we profited nearly $2,500 from that job. And then that commercial lawn account had generated us about $3,000 for the season. So does anyone else like the idea of making a good chunk of money with just an absolutely super low investment on the marketing side of things. Looks like the question, or not the questions, but the X's are rolling in. Tyler says, you bet. Very, very, very cool. So are you guys ready for method 3, though? This might be a little bit of a shock, more so than the networking groups, but this is quite controversial to say the least. But are you guys ready? Give me an X if you are ready to really be blown away, or give me a 1, whatever, smash keyboard, whatever you got to do. All right. Diego says, hell yeah. Tyler says, yes. Andy says, yes. Zach says, let's get it. All righty. All right. It's Craigslist. And before you think I'm crazy for saying this, take a look at one of the members here in the entrepreneurship communities, their ads for their landscape and irrigation company. Super, super simple ad for just sod installation. They just made it, what you see is what you get. I remember when I had first started using Craigslist, I was trying to make all the bold font and stuff and doing all this crazy coding to make it just really stand out. And basically what they did was just say, hey, sod installed at $265 per square yard. So that's about one roll ends up being like $3 per piece, or something along the lines of that. But basically just super, super plain. I mean, even the writing is all caps, and obviously put out their contact information. But basically what you see is what you get. We offer discounts for bigger yards and offer irrigation installs, final grades as well. Call today for a free estimate. So it's just super, super basic. And here's another one for a hardscape project. Super plain again. What you see is basically what you get, when all that was just a simple call to action and then the website address and just literally one picture in there that's not even that great of a picture. Just, you can barely even tell that it's a patio. So give me a no way in the chat box if you guys think that these ads don't work. Most people will think that these are just horrible, not going to work in the least bit. And that seems to be the consensus from everybody, that these are just junk ads that don't work. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so here's the results from them running these ads. Nearly $21,000 in sales in just this one particular week of late May. Well, and the only ads that they're running on Craigslist, and it costs $0 to run ads that just look like this, absolutely zero. Yet they're bringing in over nearly $21,000 in a week's time. Imagine if your business was doing even just $5,000 or $10,000 a week, which is half or even a quarter of this right here. Think about what that would do for your business, and give me a heck yeah in the chat box if you guys think that that's cool and want to do that. Looks like Jason says yes. Holy cow, they're rolling in. Rad. Oh yeah. Very cool, very cool. So what we've covered is how to get your first landscape clients within the first couple hours, whether it's you're posting on Craigslist, you do the social media. I encourage you guys to do it all, because then the cool thing about business is the more effort you put into it, the more out return you get on that investment. I also showed you how you can start doing these landscape installs even if you don't have the equipment right now, by going out there, getting a customer to pay you a deposit before the job even starts, and then covered 3 unique advertising methods online that are 100% free and have generated just tens of thousands of dollars. So give me an X if you guys think that that's some cool training and some good stuff to learn, and you're going to put it to work soon in your business. Looks like everyone says yes. Tyler says X, so rad. Jason says hell yeah, I love it. Diego, cool. So let me ask you guys a question. Stuff is pretty cool, right? How many of you guys are excited to get started? How many of you guys are just plain overwhelmed and are really just, it's just a lot to cover right now? Just want to see what everyone here in the group is thinking. Looks like everyone's kind of all across the board, it looks like, speechless. Very, very cool. Let's see. Diego saying, you think Craigslist is good for landscape maintenance? Yeah, absolutely. It's all comes down to really just having some good ads. But now, if you followed what I showed you in Secret 1 and you found some clients right away, and then you took what I showed you in Secret number 2 and you get paid forward deposit for that job before the job even starts, so that way you don't have to risk your money before getting a paid client. All you have to do is just get out there and hustle. And then you use the methods in Secret number 3 to get more and more clients for basically next to nothing. Do you think you could be successful with that? Looks like the yeses are rolling in. Now, also, how would it help you? I want to serve you guys, and how would you like it if I could actually help you implement this? You guys like that idea? Tyler says yes. Andy, yes. Everyone is rolling in. So it's impossible to explain in a 60-minute presentation, but I tried to cover as much as possible. But I created a special package for those who are ready to move forward and implement this new opportunity. So is it okay if I spend, say, 10 minutes going over a really special offer created to help you implement generating 5 figures in new landscape jobs? Let me know in the chat box if that sounds like something you guys want to maybe check out. If not, we don't have to, but I'm guessing a lot of you guys will probably want to check that out. Diego says yes. Jason, Andy, these guys are wanting, definitely active. Tyler says yes. Alex, Justin says yes. Alrighty, cool, very cool. So guys, I'd like to introduce you to Launchpreneurship 101. So basically what this is a very big 8-module masterclass. And when you invest in it today, you'll learn how to establish an official, legitimate business along with other vital requirements such as proper licenses, insurance. You'll learn marketing techniques that your competition, frankly, does not want you to know about, such as the stuff that we just covered here in the training earlier. An in-depth guide on creating a pricing system to sell your jobs and be profitable, so that way you know exactly how to price every job that comes your way. Basically, 8 modules filled with handheld, every single detailed covered training. And here is what we will cover. So the first module is lawn and landscape business foundational setup. So you'll basically learn how to get the business going, up and running off the ground, teach you exactly what you need to know about financials as well when it comes to taxes and accounting and bookkeeping, all that sort of stuff. And then we get into covering the right equipment that you need and the right trucks that you need for the specific jobs at hand. And then also we go step by step how to do each one of these types of jobs. So lawn services, landscape installation, snow removal, then also pricing for profit, which will include templates to set up your pricing, mastering your marketing, taming the beast, so how to operate and manage your business. So everything from scheduling jobs and managing weather and how to communicate with customers and anything and everything in there, managing your employees. And we also get into a little bit of a deeper level with motivation, mindset, and networking. And the total value of this right here is $19.97, so almost $2,000. And let me introduce you guys real quick to some of the guys that have come through this module and program. So Patrick here, been in business for many, many years, found a ton of solid info for not only marketing his business more effectively, which in turn reduces the costs and makes him more money, but also gets him jobs more efficiently. So it's excellent training. And then there's Jackson, who says, if you're ready to start your lawn care business, look no further. He's the owner of a company called Unlimited Lawn Care and Landscaping. He thought Launchpreneurship was a really, really simple step-by-step guide to follow and will reduce a ton of headaches, along with how to get legitimately set up and register your business. He also loved the simple templates for pricing and marketing techniques that have helped his business drastically. And probably one of my favorite stories in this is Tyler Post, who's the owner of TJP Lawn Care and Snow Removal. If you're interested in starting or expanding your business, I highly recommend Launchpreneurship 101. It's really detailed for starting up your lawn landscape business. And being that he's been in business for 9 seasons already, he thought this course would be a total waste of time, but it wasn't. It's loaded with helpful, actually usable information to start up your business and make it grow. This also outlines how to start a successful business with barely any money to get things off the ground. So if you have any interest in growing your existing business or starting one today, do not hesitate to purchase this. So who will this work for? It'll work for beginners. Get your first paying clients and sales within 30 days. If you're a veteran, this will help increase your company's efficiency on job sites and in this shop and office, and will help you scale your business to the moon. So you'll also get the bonus training module, which is an ever-growing module of landscape project case studies. Basically, you'll learn how we acquired the particular job, the tasks at hand, so what we needed to do, whether it was a full landscape demolition and removal and then replacement with mulch and rock and shrubs and all that sort of stuff, any problems that we encountered, how we solved them, the numbers behind it, so basically the gross sales on it as well as the profit on it, and a whole lot more. The total value of this is $997. So then what you're going to get is the 8 full business training modules valued at $1997, case study module valued at $997. So the total value of that is $2,994. And so then also you will get the first bonus, which is the tools of the trade. So you'll get the contract and proposal template as well as client communication template. So these are the exact templates my company used for selling jobs, signing on clients for not only lawn care, landscaping, but also snow and ice management. Super, super in-depth contracts that basically cover anything and everything that you could possibly need, because there are a lot of different special clauses that you need with snow removal to ensure that your company is basically protected when it comes to getting paid and all those sorts of things that could go with doing snow removal. And also on cold calling, emailing clients, telephone conversations, and a whole lot more. And this is only for the first 20 people only. So we've got about 75 people on here. And judging by the chat, it seems like you guys are all really, really pumped up and interested in getting at this already. So what you're going to get, again, is the 8 full business training modules valued at $1997, the case study module, which will be valued at $997, where you can either go out there and you don't have to do the trial and error on job sites and spend years and tens of thousands of dollars in horticulture classes and figure out how to handle all these situations. You get all that right there with learning how to handle all these different types of jobs. And then you will get access to the tools of the trade valued at $497, bringing the total value of this package to $3,491. But then also you'll get access to the Strength in Numbers community. So you get access to our private support community for Entrepreneurship 101 members. This is a group that honors itself on networking with like-minded business owners that help each other win, that want to help each other win. Plus live Q&A webinars twice per month where you get your business questions answered, and value at $497. And again, this bonus here is only for the first 20 people only that hop on. We have a full room here. So basically what you're going to get is 8 full business training modules valued at $1997. And then you'll get access to the case study module valued at $997. Bonus number 1, the tools of the trade valued at $497. And then bonus number 2, the Strength in Numbers community valued at $497, bringing the total value at $3,997. So also what you're going to get is a 30-minute consultation call with me only for the first 5 people though. And this is for only doers. If you're someone that is a person that likes to dabble, because I'm guessing there are probably 2 kinds of people listening to me right now. You're either a doer or a dabbler. Dabblers love to sit, listen, and learn, but rarely do they ever do anything and often look for excuses to not move forward. And some of you are doers. You're not sure how this is going to work for you, but you see how it's worked for me and other people. So you have faith that it will work for you as well. And as what I've found is that it's the doers who get ahead in life, while the dabblers don't ever seem to progress. They stay at the same spot. And this will be for the first 5 people only. So this will go very, very, very quickly. So what you're going to get is the 8 full business training modules valued at $1997, the case study module valued at $997, and then you'll get the tools of the trade valued at $497, And then the strength in numbers community valued at $497. And then a 30-minute consult with me for only the first 5 people worth $997, bringing up the total value to $4,985. So if all this package did was finally make your business profitable, would it be worth it? $5,000 one time to potentially earn 10 times or more of that in the next few months. So worth it to you? Definitely. Will it be worth it if it gives you the kick in the butt to finally get moving? Would it be worth it then? Or if it even gave you just 2 to 3 landscape install jobs per month with the marketing training and doing all the work, how much is one client worth it to you? Think about the long term. Let's say they pay $5,000 for a landscape installation and then basic maintenance services for at $1,000 a year, and they stay on for 2 more years. And that's all that they did. That's one client. That's all you got from just this training right here is $3,000 worth of lawn maintenance and $5,000 worth of landscape installation work. Would that be worth it to you then? Not to mention how word of mouth that can be generated from this client and a whole lot more. To learn about all these things, you would literally have to go out there and spend upwards of $50,000 on a college education, plus years and years of painstaking trial and error to get things right. But you have 2 choices, or I basically had 2 choices when it came to this. I could go as cheap as possible and try to sell this to as many people as possible. But the problem with that is that I really couldn't stack on the value for you. So I decided to go with the second option, which obviously requires a slightly higher investment on your side. But in exchange for that, we can dedicate more time, energy, and resources to help guarantee your success. So what would the end result be worth to you? If you had a successful business today that was making you money, what would it be worth to you? Looks like a bunch of people throwing in the chat $50,000, $100,000, $25,000, $2,500. So everyone's definitely on board with that. How much would you pay to have that one successful business? I mean, you could go out there and buy a business for $200,000 and just get going. So you could probably see why people would pay $5,000 for a similar result from me. But it's not a cost, it's an investment. It's an investment in your future. And you can see why it's a good deal at nearly $5,000. But even at $997, which is what I charge the public, it's a great deal. But because you're attending this workshop, you can get started right now for $297. I'll put the link in the chat box right now because a few of you guys are practically burning down the door, it looks like. Holy cow. I'll post that here in the chat box. So that's there in the chat box. Now let me put this into perspective with you. If you guys went over to my regular website, it would be $1,000 to get at this. But because you invested the time with me, you've proven that you are someone who actually really wants to start your business or grow your existing one. So I'm making a special offer for just this workshop. But again, though, you have 2 choices. You can do nothing with the information that you've learned over the last hour, but what will that get you? That'll get you nothing. Or you can just take a leap of faith. Just test it out to see if it will work for you. You have nothing to lose but stress and headaches and staying the heck away from all that stuff because you don't want that in your business ownership endeavors. Or you can choose to take an investment in your life. We have a 30-day action-based money-back guarantee. You can test drive it now and see if it'll work for you. You have truly nothing to lose. So the real question, though, is it worth placing a small bet of your time to check this out? Because even if it only did half of what I've claimed today, it will easily pay for itself in as soon as 30 days. Looks like Andy says just got on. Welcome in, brother. We'll see you on the other side within the group there. Jason's in. Very cool. Okay, so again, what you're going to get is 8 full business training modules valued at $19.97. You'll get a case study module valued at $9.97. You'll get the first bonus, which is the tools of the trade, valued at $4.97. You will get the second bonus of the strength in numbers community, valued at $4.97. And it looks like there are only, 3 guys have now said they have claimed. So there's only 2 spots left to actually get the 30-minute consult with me, valued at $9.97. So the 5-person limit is pretty much already gone, and it will be totally gone after the workshop is over. So even, that'll definitely be taken. But if you buy this after the workshop is over, you will not get the 30-minute consult. And the total value of that, though, is $4,985. So again, the link is right there in the chat box. Looks like there is just a race to the door there. Holy cow. But so here's one thing that I want you to think about is most people in the world live paycheck to paycheck, and every couple of weeks you get paid, and then you pay your fixed costs like your rent and your food, and then there's usually some money left over, and we call that disposable income. Most people are going to blow that every single month. If they have $1,000 in disposable income, they're going to go out there and spend it on going out to the bar, TV, new iPhone, and spend it all until it's gone. All short-term pleasures that are gone in an instant. But the cool thing is that money replenishes. Every 2 weeks or so, boom, there's another $1,000 in disposable income that you can spend. And most people will spend that cash on things that don't add value to their lives in a meaningful way. You should be investing that money into something that will help you and your business. And that's the power of disposable income. It comes back every couple of weeks. Boom, there's more money. Now, if you only got I could stop right here, but if I stopped right here and you only got the lessons on installing just patios and retaining walls, would it still be worth the investment? It would be worth it, right? But you're also getting an entire training archive on how to efficiently perform all the landscape installation services, all the step-by-step instructions for lawn care maintenance, as well as snow and ice management services, how to market those services, how to price each one of them, manage your business. And basically, I want to make sure that there's nothing standing in your way of your success. So if you're still on the fence, now's the time to open up a new browser window, go to lawnpreneurship.com/go and get started. Remember, there's a 30-day action-based money-back guarantee, but the only way for you to know if this is right for you is to get started right now. You can go get your account right now at lawnpreneurship.com/go. Money back guarantee. I'll post the link in the chat box here once again because it looks like there's tons and tons of people racing over there right now. Holy cow, this is crazy. Alrighty, so I'm gonna take a drink of water here and let you guys ask some questions. So who's still on the fence? What questions do you have? Okay, let's see here. Andy is wondering, let's see, how in depth do you go with marketing? Okay, yeah, so we basically cover everything from advertising 101 to basically how to get people to want to purchase your services and actually see your ad and want to be interested in purchasing something from you. All the different forms of advertising, such as the print advertising, offline marketing forms, as well as online marketing forms. Big in-depth course on how to, or in-depth module, I should say, on how to start your basically building a website from scratch and start getting it to rank in Google, so that way it can be seen in the organic Google searches for services in your particular area. And then also we get into doing Facebook ads and Google AdWords and all that sort of cool stuff as well. So actually, would you guys want to see just the inside of the membership area? Looks like Tyler says yes. Diego says yes. Alex says yes. Jason. Alrighty, cool. All right, we're going to open this up here in just a second. Let me log in. Alrighty, guys, give me an X in the chat box if you can see the members headquarters, the members homepage. Looks like everybody can see it. Okay, so we are right here. Here's access to the Facebook group where you will get into the private management or mastermind group. Then we have the Q&A webinars for each or twice per month. And then if there's any questions with the website, if there's a video that's not working or something like that, or you have a question about getting access, just link to the support. Here's each one of these modules here. So we'll just break into, we'll go into choosing the right equipment and trucks right away as it loads up. So we'll get into basically the overview of equipment, what equipment you shouldn't use, new versus used, trucks and equipment, letting the equipment warm up, all the trucks, trailers, all that sort of cool stuff. And then at the job site. So basically we break down each one of the services that you perform. They're broken out into subgroups. So we got landscaping here with a little overview video, and then mulch, rock, edging, potted plants and trees, B&B, trees, so ball and burlap, introduction to patios, really big lesson on patios and the construction process, retaining wall construction, lawn renovations, all sorts of cool stuff. Same thing with lawn maintenance services, go in depth there. And then we get into mastering your marketing. So just tons and tons of stuff. So we got the basics here where we get things started, how to get clients and when you should market to them and why commercial bids go really cheap, working with property management companies, types of properties that you should seek out, as well as all the ads 101 when it comes to shirts and word of mouth and getting that to work because it's truly priceless. Postcards, direct mail, brochures, flyers, all that sort of cool stuff. So guys, anyone else have any questions on here? It looks like they're rolling in. I'll take another drink here really quick. Is there training on mowing and striping? Yes, absolutely. We go very, very in depth and mowing with the proper methods. So that way your lawns will look like a Major League Baseball stadium's outfield and making them look perfect, because that's what our goal is making clients' properties look amazing. And that's what we want. And that's what we train everyone that's come through the program to do. Any other questions on here? Rolling in. Alrighty, guys. Looks like that is the end of the questions here. It looks like all of the spots for the bonuses with the consultation are taken. Unfortunately, they're all gone. And let's see, it looks like there are about 3 spots left for getting the access to the bonuses with the contract templates, as well as the Strength in Numbers community. And looks like, oh, there went another one as well. So there's only 2 left. So 2 spots left in being able to get access to the tools of the trade and the private support community. Let's see. Kyle says he's about to buy. And let's see here, asking, do I need PayPal? Nope, you don't need to have a PayPal account. You can just pay with your card. Really, really simple and easy. And then you will land on a page and it will basically say, hey, thanks for purchasing. Then be sure to check your email, every single folder, including your spam and junk, because I've oftentimes when a new email is coming from a new address, such as WordPress Launchpreneurship, which is what the site's built with, it might go to your spam. So definitely look for the username and password information in that folder, because that's often where it ends up. Even with our testing, it still showed up there, and it's kind of a goofy thing, but that's kind of the reality of it. You go and sign up for like a website form or something like that, or like even any other type of membership, like for stock trading or something, it's going to go straight to your spam, unfortunately, but that's just kind of how the internet works and email servers work. Alrighty, guys, that looks like it is it. Let's see here. For the guys that are in, welcome aboard. Congratulations on basically purchasing a ticket to growing an amazing business that's going to be profitable, and you're going to be able to bypass a lot of the headaches that are going to that will really derail a lot of companies. So definitely you're going to want to be in the group, and we'll see you around the Launchpreneurship. And for the guys that just hopped in, we'll see you that there. Looks like there isn't. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming out, and we'll see you around Launchpreneurship.